Hey, Chem 1010 students, you've made it. It is week 7. This week we do have one more module to wrap up. Some of you have already been working on it. We have one more lab report and we have the final exam. So here we go. Let's talk about what's going on this week. First of all, here is our homepage. There was a typo in a homework question. If you opened it sooner rather than later, you probably saw this typo. And so please do take a look. If this links to our discussion board, and I'll show you where that is. We also have the student evaluation for the course ready, and I believe it's down here in the class climate widget. You may have to expand. I don't see it because I don't have a link because I'm not a student, but I think you have a link to survey all of your courses. Please take a look at that. So anyway, you'll also see the week 7 update note here once you're reading this because I'll post it as soon as this video is done. If you take a look at this to wrap up last week, the homework 11 is already past due, but you can see that there was a typo in one of the questions. If you have any questions about it, please ask me. You'll have to scroll down. There it is, homework 11, question 5, typos in answers. There's also a thread about homework 12. I'm going to point it out in a minute. You want to keep an eye on the discussion board and use it to ask questions if you have them. All right, let's go ahead and go to the content. Here in the weekly updates, first of all, this video will be posted. All of our weekly videos are posted here. I like looking at this to see where we are. We are on Monday, March 3rd. Absolutely nothing is due today, but Lab 8 is due tomorrow. Your Homework 12 and Quiz 7 are due Wednesday. And then your final exam opens up on Thursday and is due on Friday. We'll look at those due dates. The final exam is long and it covers everything we've learned this semester, stressing what we learned in the lecture portion, not so much in the lab, except for there were a couple of lab activities that reviewed material from lecture, and so those may help you. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our content, go back here, and scroll down to Module 7. All right, you should be finished with Module 6. Module 7, there is textbook assignment and videos, the reading and videos, the homework and quiz, and the lab. So you see your typical modules here. The reading for the textbook assignment is just one chapter. All right. There's only one video. I'll be happy to post more if you want me to. But I did point out someone did ask about one of the homework questions already on the discussion board on half-life. This video is about balancing nuclear reactions. Someone asked about balancing half-life problems, and I talked through it on the discussion board. This actually links you to the discussion board. It opens up a new tab. And again, someone asked a question on homework 12, and if you open up that post, I do talk you through how to work question number 13 and give you the answer. So take a look at that. I'm going back here to the content. All right, so that's module 7. The quiz does require, if there's your homework, if there's your quiz, the quiz does require some work. So there is a Dropbox for work on that quiz. Be sure to upload your document after the quiz. We didn't have one for Module 6, but we do have one for Module 7. We're also going to have one for the final exam. All right. Your lab is pretty straightforward. There is no work for this lab. It is observations. So you want to write your observations. And a lot of you have already started this, but let me give you some food for thought. You are watching videos of these chemicals being mixed, and then you are to type in your observations. And so if you look, and I try to make this really clear, all right, there's the video you watch, all right, record your observations and then tell me the answer. This center column is very important. What did you see happening? Tell me what you saw, what vision, like you were describing it to a third grader. What are you seeing happening that lead you to the conclusion that you see here. So I do need to see what you see. I do need to read what you see. All right. All right, gonna exit out of that, and you can come back and forth. If you want another attempt at it, let me know. If you think maybe I didn't do that, shoot me an email, send me a message. I'll go take a look. All right. All right, so that's your lab that is due soon. All right, let me go back to this. I'm going to open up our calendar. Remember, our calendar is in weekly updates. So again, your lab is due tomorrow evening. Your homework and your quiz is due Wednesday evening, and then Thursday and Friday is your final exam. So if I scroll down here, I can't click on the final exam. It's not going to open up until March 6th. There will be a link for that final exam, and there will be a Dropbox for me to upload my work. Very important to get that work uploaded after the final exam, as usual with quizzes and tests, and some of our labs have even needed it. So very important to do that. So that's going to show up on March 6th. To review for the final exam, to prepare for the final exam, you can go back to every single homework and quiz and test we've taken a midterm that we've taken so far and practice it. Practice it means looking at it, looking at the correct answers as you work it out to check your answers. There are a couple ways you can do it. You can go back to all the links in the content. If I click on any of these, including the midterm, all right, that takes me to what I've already done. If I've already done it, it takes me to my attempt. Now, I didn't take the midterm. You will have taken it, and you will be able to see your attempt. So another way to do it is to come here to the quizzes page, and there are all your attempts. And again, you should have attempts for every single one of these. If you missed a homework assignment, if you don't have an attempt, they are set to allow you to start one. It won't go to the grade book, but they allow you to go ahead and start one and take an attempt so that you can see what it is. You can go ahead and put in all your answers. You can submit it at the end, and it will check it for you. And everything will be checked for you at this point. You can see all of these on the quizzes page. So go back and look at your attempts. Again, you should have attempts on all of these. And even go back to lab attempts. I don't have any attempts. It's weird. It doesn't save a lot of my attempts, but it does save some of them. So I can go back to any of these and see my attempt. And at this point, it is showing you, see the check mark? It is showing you the correct answers. The blue arrow, I picked this, here's the correct answer. And you're going to study these. The correct answer was 228. I typed in 24. So you can go back and see all of the correct answers at this point. If you have questions on any of them, copy and paste them, put a message on the discussion board. Please do put on the discussion board which homework assignment it is or quiz it is, as well as the question number in the title bar so that I can quickly find it. All right. And then copy and paste it. So you can see all of those on the quizzes. If anything isn't showing up for you, give me a message, send me an email, post on the discussion board. Let me take a look. Anything that you missed, including a quiz, should be set that you can start an attempt. It won't go to the grade book, but you can take an attempt so that you can practice it. Because your final exam, the questions on the final exam are at least 90%, probably even 95% going to look like the questions you saw, maybe 90% because there's not 100 questions on it. So 90% going to look like the questions you saw on your homeworks and your quizzes. Won't necessarily be the exact same numbers or chemical elements, but it will be a very similar question. So practicing those old quizzes and homeworks is what you want to do. All right. As I go back and look at the calendar, all right, you have until Friday to finish that. Let me go back to the quizzes page. Can I see it? There is the midterm. I don't even see it. You will have until, let me double check. I'm going to make it so that you can see it. It's just not open yet. Here we go. final exam until 11:59 on Friday. So you have until the last minute, just like you've had on all of these, till the end of the day on Friday to take that final exam. And then I will be grading them on Saturday and Sunday and looking for partial credit and putting in your grades. I have until Monday to put your grades in. And so I'll be entering them. You have access to eLearn through all of that. Let me double check the access to eLearn. You have access to eLearn until March 11th. All right, so you can see your grade book all through that. And if you look on your grade book, all right, up here should be your running total for your grade, your percentage. And if you have a 90%, you got an A. If you have an 80%, you got a B. If you have a 70 or higher, you got a C. And if you have a 65% or higher, you got a D. So you're going to be able to see that as things get graded. And you can see all of your grades there, all right, and all the averages. All right, guys, last big push. Please reach out if you have any questions this week. You have until Friday to complete course material. So give me a heads up if you have any questions. You got this.